What's up, my peeps? My name is Cynthia, aka C-Flow, and welcome to my channel, C-Flow's Reality TV Talk. On this channel, we'll discuss some of my favorite reality TV shows. I'll give my opinion on what I think is going on, and hope that you join in the discussion by adding, if you agree or disagree, how you feel about it in the comments. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button so that you're notified whenever a new video has been uploaded, and share with your friends. You know, I want to have a conversation with a whole bunch of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So today we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 4, episode 12 is What You Wanda Do About It. That's the name of the episode. I don't know why, because Wanda really wasn't in that episode a lot, but whatever. So we start the episode off still at Wanda's event where she's cooking these potatoes with all sorts of meats and vegetables on top of it, is what I gathered from last week. And where they show KeKe, Tisha's cousin, coming in, and you can kind of feel the tension between the two. And so KeKe comes in, they kind of have these pleasantries, which was fake, of course, in my opinion. And then they kind of sit down and talk. They talk about why they're not getting along. Tisha says, well, you know why I'm not talking to you? Because you're talking to Melody about my business. And KeKe's like, well, what about your husband? Tell him my business. And then Tisha says, well, this was something that happened 5, 6, 10 years ago, something crazy like that. And it sounds like you're trying to get back at me. This is what Tisha says. It sounds like you're trying to get back at me by talking with Melody about my business. They also talked about the whole allegations of Marsau cheating. And so if you recall, KeKe was telling Melody that her and Tisha had a conversation about those allegations of Marsau cheating, right? And then Tisha says that they never had that conversation. So now her and KeKe are going back and forth. KeKe calls her a liar. Let me back up a little bit. So Marsau kind of chimes in when they talk about whatever it was. I really wish they would tell us what the situation was about, what Marsau was telling Melody and Martell about KeKe's business. I would like to know what that's about. But Marsau kind of chimes in about that whole situation, and they start kind of having a discussion. And I couldn't understand why he was getting so upset and bucking up, like, you know, well, say it, you know, and they were going back and forth. It was really confusing. Like, that whole scene was confusing. And then Bernard chimes in, and I thought from last week that Bernard was KeKe's husband. Apparently not, because we see KeKe's husband chime in a little later during this event. And so Marsau was getting all buck, and when Bernard chimed in, Marsau told him to shut the F up. And it was like, well, so now he getting some balls? I mean, I know that sounds bad, but he doesn't normally buck up like that. Like, I've watched this since the first season, and I've never seen Marsau get bucked up like that. So that was just kind of strange to me. Or should I say it was brand new. And then we meet KeKe's husband, who kind of jumps in, and it looks like Marsau and he are going to go at it, you know, start bucking at each other, which that really didn't happen, but it was just a whole confusing mess. And then in between these arguments, you have Miss Wanda piping in saying, hey, this is my event, stop. What I found that was interesting is when Miss Wanda said, they say we are from the other side of the tracks, and you guys are acting like it. That actually made sense to me. Like, right now, you guys are acting like you're from the other side of the tracks. Which, side note, when Marcel said that, what, 1 or 2 seasons ago, I was questioning, like, well, if you feel like that about your wife's family, you met them before you married her. Like, you knew what you were marrying into, if that's how you feel. So that was interesting to me, how he was talking bad about his wife's family. That was, I don't know. I didn't think that was cool at all. So Tisha starts crying about how she feels bad, and She's not lying about her and KeKe never having that conversation about the cheating allegations, and that scene kind of ends that way. But it was very chaotic. I watched it a couple of times. It was kind of hard for me to follow. I don't know if it was the same for you. Let me know how you feel about that whole situation. But I found it funny about Wanda to keep trying to keep the peace, so to speak. And it just didn't work. So next we jump to Kimmy going to visit Destiny at her house. So they kind of talk about, hey girl, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. And then they talk about the housewarming and how the discussion between Stormy and Destiny really didn't kind of went left, right? Because Destiny called her sweetie. I believe it was sweetie. It wasn't dear, it was sweetie. And Stormy got a little upset about it. So Kimmy was trying to explain to Destiny why Stormy was feeling that way. And Destiny was trying to explain to Kimmy why she left, because she was trying to show some grace to Stormy. And Destiny kind of talks about losing Mel as a friend. She says that she finds out from other people that her and Mel are not in a good place. Kimmy's trying to play the peacemaker and figure out, hey, isn't there something? Can't you guys like make this work? I mean, you guys have been friends for a while. Isn't this just a little bump in the friendship? But it sounds like Destiny's like, nah, player, nah, I can't deal with Melody anymore. Like the friendship's gone. So, but Destiny did say that she felt like, she said that she doesn't have an issue with Melody, that Mel has an issue with her. So that's kind of how that scene ended, if memory serves me. Next, we go to who I feel is the very boring couple. I know that sounds bad, but Tiffany and Lewis. Side note, I really didn't expect them to come back this next season. They're trying to give a little bit, but I don't know, they're not giving for me. Sorry, it's just my opinion, but that's just how I feel. So Tiffany pops up to, I believe it's called the Compound. That's Lewis's business. Looks like a training facility, like a personal training facility of some sort. And they kind of say hi. She pops up, visits him, and she tells him that she was surprised or a little disappointed that he did not ask her about the trip to Utah, which is the trip where she was trying to find out who her real father is. And then he chimes in and says, well, I was waiting for you when you were ready to tell me about how the trip went. And so they went back and forth about that whole thing. And so they start talking about the visit, and she gives him details about, the things that was a little disturbing. It was disturbing when, when they played that out last week about the lynchings that are happening, a lot of kids that were up for adoption or foster care because of interracial couples having babies. So it was real disturbing. She, bringing up the Ku Klux Klan and all that stuff. So she brought all that up to Lewis. Lewis asked her, how was it going with Mel? And, how was Mel? And Tiffany talked about how Mel was great and she was glad that she was there. And that was pretty much it for their conversation. They kind of went tit for tat again about, why didn't you ask me about it? And he's like, well, why didn't you tell me about it? So they kind of ended that scene agreeing to disagree that who should have brought up the visit. Whatever. That was just kind of strange to me. Next scene, we have Martell with his shirt unbuttoned, which I'm like, really, dude? He is something else. Meeting up in a park, it looks like, with his manager to talk about the Atlanta trip and the launch of his wine, the wine that he's launching. I forgot the name of it. And just talk about the details. So it's supposed to be at some mansion in Atlanta, and it's going to be the guys. It's supposed to be more intimate, sexy, and have a nice dinner, maybe about 30, 35 people. And so that was kind of uneventful discussion that they talked about. And he also talked about making sure that he kind of make sure that his mom's legacy lives on through this wine launch that he has. So I would like to get more information about that. Or maybe he talked about it in previous episodes and it just went in one ear out the other. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if he talked about how this wine is part of the legacy of his grandmother, because I couldn't bridge that two together. But that was basically it from a perspective of his talk with his manager about the Atlanta trip. So next we have Marsau and Tisha meeting up at a coffee shop. And they start talking about the event that Wanda had to premiere her food, quote unquote, premiere her food. And Marsau talks about how he's not really ready to basically invest in Wanda's food truck business because of the dilapidated food truck that she selected, and how she doesn't have like a business plan. And so he doesn't feel comfortable right now investing in it. Of course, Tisha's like, you know, she'll get it together. We'll help her kind of situation. So she's not here for Marsau saying that he's not going to invest, but we all know he's going to invest. And we all know, my opinion, that they're trying to start some kind of spinoff show for Wanda's food truck and for Tisha's family in general, especially with that whole craziness that was happening last episode. So let's see. So they also talked about KeKe and how it sounds like KeKe is trying to start some mess with their marriage. Then Tisha starts crying because she feels bad that her and KeKe used to be really close, like sisters, and how she's hurt by how things are turning out. So she starts crying about that. It was funny to me that Marsau talked about Bernard working his nerves and how he's a male Wanda, which I thought was funny, which he is, seems like he is a little bit. And then what I found really interesting is Marsau started talking about how her family was attacking him. And Tisha was basically saying, they feel like that I'm not hard enough on you. So they're trying to get information and clarification from you for me, basically is what she was saying. That's not verbatim, and that's basically what she was saying. And then she said, which I thought was good, I need you to do me a favor. And when I ask you a serious question, that you answer it seriously and not joke, which we all know that's what he does. He evades and he jokes, and it just makes the situation worse. And he said that he can do that. He said something kind of strange. And he asked her to choose what questions or what she brings to him. And she says that he has, but he claims that a lot of the things and questions that she brings to him is disrespectful, which I would like to kind of unpack that a little bit, which I think what he's trying to say is the fact that you're even questioning me is disrespectful in his eyes. So like, if someone says, you know, I heard you were, just for example, well, let's just take the cheating. I heard you were cheating and you know that that's not in my heart. Why would you even question me about it? So he's trying to take the stance of, when you ask me these questions, you're disrespecting me because you know my character. So that's pretty much how it went. He said he was going to work on it and try to improve. So we shall see. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. All right. Then we move on to Kimmy and Mel meeting up. Of course, Kimmy tries to play the matchmaker, trying to figure out, she did ask her about her trip with Tiffany, how that went. And Mel said it went really well. And then Kimmy brings up the Galentine and how when Stormy and Destiny got into it and Destiny ran off, that Mel ran to Destiny to check on her. So she used that as a way to say, hey, isn't there a way that you and Destiny can get along? Like she said to Destiny, isn't this like a little bump in your friendship? And Mel basically wasn't having it. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I just don't know if they're going to get back to the friendship that they had. And lastly, we end this episode with the guys meeting up at Black for the Atlanta trip. And they all go on a Sprinter and they're driving on their way to Atlanta. And Martell asked, what did your wives say about you going on this trip? And they all basically said their wives were like, have a good time. And then Marsau jokes with Maurice and says something to the effect of, I want to make sure you don't have any infidelities or something like that, which that's kind of like, okay, so are you trying to start some stuff up again? Like now you're trying to throw Maurice under the bus again. And then Martell says that he's single, he's going to be acting up, which when he was married, he was acting up. So I don't know how that's different, my opinion. And he says that they can live vicariously through him because he's going to be acting up. And then Marsau basically says he hopes they keep it classy and that what happens in Atlanta stays in Atlanta. So that's pretty much how it ends. Next episode seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. I would like to know your thoughts on this last episode. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Marsau is going to work on changing and answering questions directly? Do you feel like that he's going to invest in Wanda's food truck? Let me know. Let me know. Do you think that Destiny and Mel will get together and mend their friendship? I'd like to know your thoughts down in the comment. So that's pretty much it for today. I appreciate you tuning in. Again, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, peace.